a species, we like to think of ourselves as the only ones, and in fact, we are, but that wasn't always the case. Around 4 billion years ago, certain molecules combined to form more complex structures called organisms. These organisms are organized in a hierarchical order that goes from kingdom to species, which is then labeled with a Latin name that consists of the genus plus the species, like Homo sapiens. Homo, the genus, plus sapiens, the species. Now, why is it that biologically there is more than 6 species of humans? For two organisms to be considered the same species, they need to be able to mate and produce a fertile offspring. That's the reason why, although a horse and a donkey might share physical resemblance, they are actually different species. Right now, some of you just called me a liar because a mule is the offspring of a jack and a mare. However, mules are sterile. Sterile. I don't know how to say this word.
Sterile.
Right? Which means the DNA mutations from a horse and a donkey will never be passed on to the next generations. Now you know why biologically there's more than 7 species of humans. This one might actually be trivial knowledge. Did you know that the evolution of mankind wasn't linear? I really didn't know this one. I thought it was a linear progression from species to species, but in fact there was everything, everywhere, all at once. At one point there was at least 6 species of homos cohabitating the earth with different structures, capabilities, and even genetics. Just imagine looking at another human being being like, damn, motherfucker built different. Disregarding the time frames, some of the species of Homo that have been found are the Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthalensis, Homo ergaster, Homo rudolfensis, Homo florensis, Homo soloensis, and Homo denisova, who was actually found in 2010 in Siberia. That's actually very recent, to be funny. Your cousins. I saw some articles that says that there's like 9 species of homos and then 14 species of homos, but these are the only ones that I can assure you guys. We talk about animals going extinct, but we are actually the last ones of our genus, you know? We are the successful species. However, as Harari mentions, we've actually only been the last ones for the last 10,000 years, and we might have to deal with a different species of homo in the near future. So, in one of the videos I made, I said that at one point in time, there was at least 6 species of humans cohabitating the earth. So there's 2 theories to explain what happened to them and why we are the only ones left. First one is the theory of crossing. So the theory of crossing claims that the Homo sapiens, who originated in East Africa, migrated to the rest of the world. And as he met the other species, they mated. Which means that if you believe in this theory, then East Asians are a mixture of sapiens and erectus, while Middle Easterns will be a mixture of sapiens and Neanderthals, and so on and so forth. This theory becomes even more interesting because in 2010, through fossils of Neanderthals and a finger found of a Homo denisova, scientists compared both DNAs to modern humans. They found 1 to 4% of Neanderthal DNA in some Middle Easterns and Europeans, and they found 6% of Denisova DNA in some Melanesians and Aboriginous Australian tribes. Although these findings are quite interesting, it is not a high percentage. Therefore, the crossing theory is not completely valid. Next, we're going to check the theory of substitution. Now, this is a harsher theory, and I gravitate towards it because, let's be honest, as a species, we're like dicks. Everything we find, we fuck. So, just like horses and donkeys, this theory claims that due to our differences both in genetics and aesthetics, mating between the different human species would be unlikely to happen. Even when it did, our offsprings would be like mules, infertile, which means that the mutations in our DNA would never be passed on. Due to our cognitive capacity, we are said to have led not only the Neanderthals but all the other species into extinction. We fuck shit up. Yuval Harari mentions in his book that whether it was our fault or not, one thing is true. Whenever we'd migrate to a place, the existing species would go extinct. So if it doesn't work for us, it doesn't work for us. Move. Nonetheless, although I gravitate towards this theory, it still does not explain why there's traces of other human DNAs in some modern humans. We're like a big dick. We get up in there and we just ruin it. I apologize. You're probably thinking something is not adding up. Harari explains why the theory of crossing and the theory of substitution could actually both be true to our evolution. Basically, just like everything on Earth, things change. Energy transforms, organisms mutate, and two realities coexisting actually happens more often than you may think. I mean, let's be honest. You and your boyfriend broke up. You think your ex was the problem, and he thinks you were. So who's right? Harari explains that due to the low percentage of DNA of other species of humans found in modern humans, we cannot assume that there was a total fusion between the species. But we have to consider that we come from the same genus. Therefore, at one point in time, there wasn't a big difference in our DNA and aesthetics, which means that although unlikely, crossing could still happen. However, with time and further mutations, we as a species became completely incompatible, both in attraction and genetics.